This is very messy. I know. This is all going to be used. So I piled it here for the sake of my own personal ease. I'm not that much of a slob that I would leave a bunch of shit out while I'm filming a video. Speaking of which, this is a video. This is another 3D printed part review. This is a kit developed by my friend Onepercase, and it's a character from Mythology. And if you have any history with this channel, you would know that the first review that I did of a 3D printed part was also a character from Mythology. Fucking shit. That actually could have been so much worse. Wow. We good. Now it's a kappa from Japanese mythology, and that got really fucking unhinged. So this kit is Sekhmet, and, you know, there's plenty of things to say about Sekhmet that are very interesting. Now, one, you know, I've been meaning to use this for quite some time, but it's very timely now because we just got Thoth, Thoth, the other Egyptian god from like the Figure Obscura exclusive. And then there is like an image on the side of that, and people are like, it's Sekhmet, it's not Sekhmet, it's this or that. I don't fucking know. I don't really know if it's necessarily Sekhmet. And, you know, I'm not a fucking historian by any means. But also, like, I read the internet, and I thought before I fucking talked about this, I should know what I'm talking about. So this kit is Sekhmet. Sekhmet is the daughter of the sun god Ga. She is, according to the internet, one of the most important goddesses in the Egyptian pantheon, and she's got feline attributes. And it makes it difficult to differentiate Sekhmet from the other feline goddesses, mainly Bastet, which again, is interesting because if you look at the side art of the Thoth box, people were like, is that Bastet or is that fucking, you know, Sekhmet? And how do I say Thoth? And that was like a lot of the conversation surrounding that. But now here is a kit if you want to make Sekhmet, you know, not wait for the general release that may or may not even happen. Going back, she is the vengeful manifestation of Ra's power, the Eye of Ra. And she can breathe fire and hot wind. And that's not right. I'm so sorry. She can breathe fire, and people compare the hot wind of the desert to her breath. She can cause plagues, but also wards off disease and heals the sick. So, like, there's a bit of a yin and a yang there for you if you're looking for that sort of a thing in a fucking video about toys. Anyway, so, like, at the end of Ra's rule, Sekhmet went to destroy a bunch of mortals that conspired against him. Sekhmet is fucking Pam Bondi. I don't care anymore. I really don't care. So she went on a bloody fucking rampage, and she laid waste to a bunch of stuff, and she tried to destroy humanity. So what happened was Ra and the other gods devised a plan, and the plan they came up with was they poured a lake of beer dyed with red. But it resembled blood. So she fucking thought it was blood, and she drank up a fucking lake of beer. And so she got drunk, and then she chilled out. And that is how everything wound up fine. She's also the goddess of menstruation, which is like, you know, you didn't see that coming, did you? And that is Sekhmet. So this is a Sekhmet kit. That's Sekhmet. Fucking ancient myths are fascinating. So let me talk about what's in the kit now. So we've got these are the leg pieces. You got kind of like a scarab, you know, looking motif. Really cool. Obviously very, very Egyptian. I'm fucking up here trying to get the light on it, but you can see there's like a lot of detail in there, right? Even to the degree that there's something like in there. Like all that there, like really small sculpting. Really, really fucking cool. If you dry brush that without fucking up, it's going to look great. We have the same motif on these wrist gauntlets with a lot, again, of an incredible amount of detail. So, like, really fun to paint, dry brush, that sort of shit. The shoes, she's got some high-heeled sandals. For those fucking weirdos of you that, like, are really into fucking toes, like, toes are just fine. If you're really into toes, then, like, that's just... It's not the thing people usually just, like, fucking flex about. I don't know. But I guess to each their own. Like, right, we don't judge. And then we've got, these are really great. I mean, same motif, and these pauldrons, just like an awful lot of detail there. And then, I'm trying really hard to get this focus. It's difficult. There we go. So you can see all that, right? And then we have the head sculpt. And, you know, Jason, who is Onepercase, and I call him Jason because he's my friend, and when I speak to him, I call him Jason because that'd be weird if I just referred to him by his fucking, like, Instagram name, and his store name. Did something really awesome. That's been out of focus this whole time, and I'm so sorry. This is the head sculpt. It is cat-like, as I had said. Here we go. And, like, also just, like, well sculpted. Wow. Like, look at all that hair. And that's not, you know, nothing about that came out the way I wanted to, but like the fur on the cat or whatever, it looks really great. So you have a separate hair piece here, which, by the way, also, like, these dreads are great. No Tony the Tiger. And then you have this part, she's got like a cobra thing on her head, and that's like, I don't know why, but that's part of her whole deal. So this is separate, so you can paint them separate, which is, like, I personally, for me, like, fantastic. I love that shit. Like, make it easy for us, you know? I don't need to be challenged. I've said this before. Just, like, separating all these fucking things, really, like, I don't need to be challenged. It's cool that people like a challenging head sculpt. And, you know, I don't. I just wanted to be able to make it, like, look good. The crazy thing is Jason, I'm going to call him Onepercase because, you know, Jason, who runs the store Onepercase online, onepercase.com, went a step further. You see this one, right? There's a little hole there. Hold up. So if you really want to just, like, really do it separately, you take this, paint this. You can do this, like, in your metallic, this whatever color you want to do the hair. I'm sure it's black or brown. And then you got the face. You paint the face separately, which allows you to kind of do this without getting into the hair. And you can paint underneath the fuck where that is, because you could then paint the cobra green and put that in. And now if you really think about that, like, let me explain to you why that's great. Because, you know, painting the bottom of that cobra, like, to begin with is not easy. I mean, even with the separators, it's not, whatever. I just hit the camera, like, who cares? And then just drop shit. And that's small, and I didn't see where it fell. And there it is. And you have these three pieces together. No, that's not the right one, though. But you get the point, I guess, right? Because now I'm missing the head. But it's just, like, very easy. This is, like, I don't know what this is focused to. It's not focused to anything. Hello? Fucking camera. There we go. So, really, like, I love this. I love when everything's separated. Because I'm not great at painting detail. My eyesight, you know, just, like, isn't, you know, what it used to be. And it was not, you know, it hasn't been good since, like, fucking 4th grade. So I'm just going to put this one here. Because this is attached. It's like, I'm not painting it now. I'm just going to use this one as the head. So this is Sekhmet. Looking, you know, feline. And then we have the whole kit to put together. I forgot her body. This torso is very important. So she doesn't wear a lot of clothes. It's Egypt and it's hot, so I guess that's why. But, you know, a metal bikini. She comes with 2 of these thingies that I fucking can't think of the name of. And there's, like, I always know that there's weapon nerds out there that are like, man, it's called a blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's a Kopesh with a KH. The H is silent. Do you know why you can never hear a pterodactyl go to the bathroom? The P is silent. So, like, what I'm using here, let me just explain this shit. So, I just, you know, I mean, you could probably do this with armor. I don't think it would look bad. I don't know if she had armored legs or not. I don't have any legs that have armor. Like, you know, I went to fucking Legions Con and I legit bought no 2.0 figures. And, like, all I have is 2.0 parts. So I came home and I was like, oh, I'm going to use all this shit. And I was like, no, I can't fucking make a single custom that I want to make, which is annoying because the first thing I wanted to do was make a custom to match this, you know, wonderful cape that I got from Darla Ackerman, which is not near me to show, but it's great, and I can't fucking make that custom. So, you know, I'll be able to make it. I bought, you know, I immediately came home from Legions Con and went straight to fucking Store Horseman and bought more figures. And if that's not fucking stupid, then, you know, something else I did around that time was probably stupid enough to call stupid. Well, that was stupid. That sentence was stupid. So I was using the red loin that comes with Lady Averona, and I don't fucking know where it is. I just had it. We'll use this. So, you know, my problem with, like, the 2.0 belts is some of them rise higher than others, and that creates a problem for some tube pieces. Like I see this all the time with 2.0 3D printed like parts. So this is like the one that comes with the Goblin. This is not one I would use, but it's what I have. I'd probably use this one. I think that works really well because it could be used like, it's got kind of like a scarabee thing. But I'm not taking it off this fucking camera. So, arms. Problem with the arms is I only have one arm that actually fits a gauntlet. The gripe that I have with 3D printed like gauntlets is that they're not labeled with which side. And like, I know you can figure out which side, but it just, I fucking never can. This is Sekhmet, right? I only had one of these arms, like I had said. So this is with the gauntlet, this is without. And he had sent me like the pauldrons in gray and in black. So I don't know which is kind of like easier to see the detail for you guys. So I just put one of each on. The black is actually easier to see the detail with. Then we have the Khopesh. So like on his website, if you go to onepercase.com, there's a whole bunch of options for building this kit. There's different belts that you can use there, and he's got a bunch of different pauldrons that have like a scarab motif on them, not just this one. There's like a way to like kind of pick and choose what you want. And he's got a Cleopatra torso. I believe it's Cleopatra torso. He's got a Cleopatra belt, which I would use for this. I don't have it. I actually just ordered it for something else, a different custom. And there's a whole bunch of Egyptian shit, which is really cool. And anyway, so this is Sekhmet, the Eye of Ra. And she's all, you know, like bloodthirsty and angry and causes plagues and the goddess of menstruation. And then you got her really drunk on a lake full of beer and she was chill. And that is, you know, the story of Sekhmet. It's a dope kit. Like, you know, there's a lot of things you like. I would use a different belt for sure. This belt actually is not that bad. I kind of like it. You know, if you want to go for like a really bare, like barbarian look. And I don't know if you're into sexy action figures. I'm not into sexy action figures, really. So another thing, one of the other really cool Egyptian things that he has, if you just like want to build out like your own figure obscura, you know, like custom section, is this head sculpt. Beautifully sculpted, right? You see all that detail. And this is super cool. These like hieroglyphics in here. And this, I'm just going to hold him so you can take a look. And the spikes, by the way, is fucking badass. So Sobek is, first of all, also known as, I'm going to spell it for you, S-U-C-H-U-S. So that is succus, right? So just to begin with, this is Sobek. Also goes by the name succus. He's shown like with a human body, just like this is his head. So that's also interesting and makes it easier to make a custom, although it's not what I was thinking when I was thinking about bodies that could be used with this, and you'll see. So he is associated with the Nile crocodile. He's a Nile crocodile. It's sort of like Lyle Crocodile, that wonderful children's book, but not at all like that. And so he's associated with military prowess and, of course, fertility, because those things, you know, certainly shouldn't go together whatsoever. But, you know, Pete Hexeth would probably disagree with me. So, you know, just give me a second because I got to remember what. So his name is also SBK. So SBK, many believe that SBK, the origin of that name, is derived from the causative of the verb to impregnate. And I'm sure there's like really amazing shit also about this, but like I'm not doing any more research. But I will say this, he's got these 3 nicknames that are, well, one is, you know, pointed of teeth, which is just translates weird. There's also he who loves robbery, which is like not what you would expect from a crocodile. You know, I'm just imagining him breaking into a bank now, and that is a movie I would watch. But the last fucking nickname, and like, I'm just so glad that this is something I found to talk about during this video. Let me just tell you. Because his last nickname, like, I can't say it. His last nickname is he who eats while he also mates. And like the craziest thing about that fucking nickname is the fact that also is in there, because it doesn't need to be. Like, he who eats while he mates is fine, but like he who eats while he also mates is like really extra. So anyway, I got two heads here, and you know, they both eat while they mate. This one's like kind of like this in between of brute scale and like regular like mythic scale. So here's a brute figure, and yeah, I did this. That's what the fucking red thing was that I was looking for that whole time. So this actually might not be brute scale. I don't know. I don't have a lot of brute figures, but he certainly fucking A. No, I mean, he certainly looks weird. Actually, this could be fucking badass with all this future shit. Like, I take that back. This does not look weird. This could be fucking cool, man. Like, whoa. Like, whoa, dude. But I'll put him on just a regular figure, and then this is, you know, I got the armory. Went to the armory, and I used it as an excuse to fucking make stupid shit. Let me put him here. And, you know, this is definitely brute scale, because it is too big. Like, for the neck. But I did want to see, now, obviously, like I said, it's got a human, you know, he who eats while he also mates does have a human body in the pictures, but this looks cool on the koi. You'd have to do some modifications. You need a shit ton of blue tack. But this does fucking look cool. Then this is just it on a regular ogre body, and it's not a regular ogre body because the only fucking ogre torso I could find, I had done this gradient on. So, and it has this, which is kind of in the way. So, like, you know, like, I'm not fully prepared, and just, like, fuck being prepared. Cool people don't get prepared. But that's what it looks like. And I'm actually really stoked, I think, to do this on the fucking body, on this body. I'm absolutely doing that. It's going to be amazing. I bought too many koi. I went in at the very end. I was, like, one of the last people to go into the fucking, on that line, and I was like, I can take, like, 4 koi, right? Somebody said yes. And what I did was I only took 2, because I already had 1, and I only needed 3. But again, let me just end this by saying this is the coolest fucking character in Mythos. I don't have a name for him. I don't know what his name should be. You guys have any idea what a name